2024 is the third most active year on record with 900 reported tornadoes.
Up to 20,000 people have died after flooding through eastern Libya.
Coastal regions of Japan on the west coast are under a tsunami warning after a powerful 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck in the west of the country, and there are reports of tsunami waves.
Days are over, Arbor taking over. Seals and valves is opening, it's getting colder. Trumpet blowing the trash back if you ain't noticed. Who gon' find grace up in his eyes? It's not a game. He looked upon the earth, seen every man corrupt away. We don't build this ark, come get inside, his blood is safe. The wind's blowing, playing, Satan trust up in his name. The righteous got their hands up, they gon' feel his pain. Ain't no boasting in the borders, they know they do not belong. He done heard from heaven, cleanse him, get him out our home. Our deliverer is Alpha and Omega on the throne. The most our strength, y'all, we gon' sing that song. Judgment on his land, they know they done did us wrong. The Israelites is back with their God, they not alone. Angels in the air, man to the land just like a drone. We scattered but connected in this field just like a zone. 10 horns controlling America, word from wrong. They gon' make them desolate, gon' leave them all alone. Y'all done put it in their hearts, fulfill his will. His word will come by void, everything get fulfilled.
Are the wars in Israel and Ukraine more than the United States can take on at the same time?
We're the United States of America, for God's sake. The most powerful nation in the history, not in the world, the history of the world.
The history of the world can't take on all the battles.
What you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God has put it into their heart to fulfill his purpose. So to be very clear, as we've talked about the harlot, we've talked about this nation of Babylon, we've said it is a nation that is made up of many languages, religions, races. It is made up of a gluttonous spirit. It's a harlot because it's a sexually immoral nation. It's a nation made up of sexual immoralities where pornea reigns, adultery reigns. Sex slave industry reigns. This is this nation.
That's this nation. Clearly. Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for tonight. In a biblical sense, I am Kyle. In the building, I got my brother Pecan, my artist 28. She's gone down for bed, and my youngin is going down for bed for school tomorrow. So it's us in this building, man. And I'll be honest with you, my spirit is contrite. I don't know if everybody's paying attention. I don't know if I'm obviously not the only one paying attention, but it seems few and far in between that I come across people that seem to understand the things that are happening in this world right now. I every night, for the last 6-7 years now, I have been coming on here appealing, pleading, trying to appeal to the intellect, to appeal to the desire and need to understand why this world is a lie. I dedicated my time, my energy, my space, my life to make sure that everyone understood that righteousness is the base and the foundation of what is being required. No matter what you have read, no matter what the doctrine is, no matter what the feast day is, no matter what the sacrifice, no matter what it is, the foundation comes down to being a righteous individual. For the last 6 or 7 years, I've come on here to implore you to choose righteousness and gave you Exodus chapter 20 as your guideline for what is righteousness. All because of this prophecies that was clearly unfolding. World War III is on our doorsteps, and I'm not quite sure you guys realize it. I'm not quite sure you guys are clear of the implications of the actions that are being done in this hour internationally, globally. Tonight, we're going to go into that, and we're going to go into Ezekiel 38, Gog and Magog, which we've done several times here. But in this hour where China has just done their drills and surrounded Taiwan in their military drills and flew over and gave the full implication that this was a dress rehearsal for the invasion or the blocking off of Taiwan until they capitulate, say uncle, and allow China to walk in and take them over starving. Because what China's going to do is, instead of bombing Taiwan, they're going to surround it and block off anything coming there, subdue them. So that is something that the United States says that they will not allow to happen. I see Brother Yawan is in the building. Right now, the Israelites, the Israelis are in conflict with the Middle East, particularly Iran and Hezbollah and Hamas and Syria, and is trying to split the Muslim countries up and have Saudi Arabia be their ally, being that Iran and Saudi Arabia don't like each other as much as one would think they do. So the United States is taking mine and your tax dollars to support, fund Israel in their battle and with Iran and their factions. At the same time, trying to cut a divide. I see Alana's in the building. Make a divide between the Muslim countries so that they can win. Now, that along with the United States funding Ukraine and understanding that this battle with Iran, Iran's best friend is Russia, Ukraine is the enemy of Russia, and the best friend of Russia is China. And America, United States, is funding the two entities that are going against China, against Russia, and soon to be China when China makes their move. China has made an announcement in the last couple of days that they are ramping up and sending a larger amount of their annual budget to their military for preparation of war. I believe if you tuned into this channel, you watch the news. I believe if you tune into this channel, you are paying attention to the things around you. So you may have heard some of this information, but allow me to express that all of that I just expressed was written in Ezekiel chapter 38, verses 1 through 23, which we're going to read. the question becomes, what's important to you? Is it the social media? How can I say this? Is it the social media's making you feel some type of way about Trump or Kamala that has gotten you to totally not realize that we are on the verge of war? And if you think either one of those particular candidates is ready for this, you are wrong. You live in the United States where we import everything. We make weapons. We don't invest in the things that would keep a country going because we have money. What China and Russia, Gog and Magog, has done is not only have they lowered the United States and other factions into a war that they can't win, but in preparation for this war, they created their own economic system, because the only thing that has kept United States up is that everyone uses our currency. So you have a perfect scenario where you are fighting an enemy that is already preparing an infrastructure for when you leave, for after they beat you. You have relied on your enemy for your technology and for your advancement. When you leave, they lose nothing, you lose. Taiwan is not just because China wants the land back. All of the computer chips, let's just say 80% of the computer chips that we are using present day, were made in Taiwan. I hope you understand the gravity of that. So if China takes that over, then it means wherever technology goes via a chip, so goes China. Now, I would love to ring the alarm, blow the shofar. We did that for Feast of Trumpets. We went to Day of Atonement. We are now presently in the Feast of Tabernacles, which is the Feast of Booths, which is supposed to prepare us to come once a year, to be in tents, to be without the comforts of this electricity, or the comforts of this shelter, of these homes that we have in present day, but to be in his element and learn how to live off of his land. Let's start with Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8. And when I cry and plead, he shuts out my prayer. He shouts out my prayer. He has walled in my ways, shuts out my prayer. He has walled in my ways with hewn blocks. He has made my paths a maze. That's not the Ecclesiastes, that's Lamentations chapter 3, verse 8. But I want to highlight that because so many times people think the Most High's hand can't be seen, or They don't believe that the things that are happening is his hand, because it's not a physical thing or some person saying, pointing, and people doing what it says. Here, when the Most High, when Lamentations is talking about our calamities, and it's saying that the Most High shuts out our prayers and he walls in our ways like hewn blocks. The ways of this nation, the ways of this world, which has been confederate against us, regardless of these nations. I don't have I'm not championing any of these nations. I want to be clear, I'm not a supporter of China, Russia, United States, Africa, France, Germany, Belgium. I am only in support of the New Jerusalem that the Most High is going to bring, wherever that may be. These people are doing things that they don't know that they're doing it. They're just following because it's something that the Most High has put in process, in a system, that it is going to produce this. It says here, he hews them in with their own ways, their own savage and greedful ways, their desires to have more. America, United States could negotiate with China and Russia, and they could be some type of global thing that's happening where everybody works together and keeps their sovereignty of their dollar, and nobody's monopolizing, nobody's coming in and creating coups in other countries. But that's not what they do. United States, that's what they do. So you're gonna die, Alana, by the things that you do, like the video you sent me. What goes up comes down, right, Alana? Oh, your wine. Alana's on New Breed. She found New Breed. I think New Breed's funny. I think he's good. He got some good stuff. But anyway, the Lamentations is speaking about how the Most High makes your own ways your stumbling block, your own deficiencies, your own pleasure principles, the things that you like becomes the thing that he takes you in. So this United States and this desire to be so powerful is going to lose itself in that and fall to the prophecies that are laid out. Now we're going to Ecclesiastes 3, verse 8. And it reads, a time for loving and a time for hating, a time for war and a time for peace. Tonight, this lesson is about us understanding that war is at hand. What are you going to do? What's your plans? Let's get to it tonight. Let's go to Psalms 14. Psalms 14. And it reads, for the leader, Dawid, and for the leader of Dawid, the benighted man thinks the Most High does not care. I guess that's benighted. That word is almost look like beignet. But yet a benighted man thinks the Most High does not care. Man's deeds are corrupt and loathsome. No one does good. The Most High looks down from Shemayim, the heavens, on mankind to find a man of understanding, a man mindful of the Most High, Shaddai. All have turned bad, all together fool. There is none who does good, not even one. Are they so witless, all those evildoers, who devour my people as they devour food, and do not invoke the Most High Shaddai? There they will be seized with fright, for the Most High is present in the circle of the righteous. When this World War III happens, when the big stuff breaks out, only the righteous are going to be saved. What I mean by that, the righteous is going to have wisdom. It says in Lamentations chapter 3, verse 8, that your ways hewn you in like a block, like a wall. So if your ways are righteous, then that should hewn a wall of support around you. I see my brother Ryan in the building. Yes, yes. So we're talking about righteousness. When this World War III breaks down, as China has just told their people to get ready and they diverted their money to military for World War III, as Russia has just told the people that United States cannot slow down or stop China. It's like trying to stop the sun from rising. As China and Russia and Africa have come together and built a new currency, BRICS, and now have 50 nations that have joined and a waiting list for more. As you are seeing Israel lose international favor because everyone can witness a massacre, everyone that is of sound mind can witness an absolute genocide when they see it. So you have this very clear scenario of wickedness doing as much wickedness as possible in this hour. See, when there's the war drums beating, other people decide, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to fight too. I'm going to take this opportunity to take this country. I'm telling you about Gog and Magog, but you got to understand that Africa is in war too, with Burkina Faso kicking, France finally taking over the gold mines. And now, with all of the ones I just explained, from Iran to Saudi Arabia trying to kick it with Israel to go against their own Muslim brothers, to the Ukraine and the Russia, to now your boy in France, Macron, wants to create their own military for Europe, even though they have the UN army. Even though they still have the UN army, France wants to create an army with Germany, which they stripped their guns from after Hitler, right? They want to create an army with them so that he's over that army. And yes, Ryan, we will gain our favor by being righteous. So when I ask people, what's your plan for World War III? They look at me like I'm crazy. How can you plan for that? Yes, you can plan for World War III. You can plan to be covered in World War III by understanding what righteousness is now, what righteousness is, and living a life of righteousness. You're going to have to sacrifice some things that you may have been doing that's been nefarious, that's been bringing you money, things that you do that's nefarious that just brings you joy. You're going to have to start to understand how important righteousness is in this cosmic world that we're in, because things aren't run by human hands. We gain favor by being righteous. As the Most High says here, verse 5 of Psalms 14, there they will be seized with fright, for the Most High is present in the circle of the righteous. You may set at naught the counsel of the lowly, but the Most High is his refuge. Oh, that the deliverance of Yasharallah might come from Zion, when the Most High restores the fortunes of his people. So obviously, Brother Gabar, if the prophecy of Psalms, and this is David, right? This is Psalm 15. This is still his writings. He understood, the prophecies understood that we were going to go down. It says, Jacob will exult and Yasharallah will rejoice. Yes, my brother Ryan, all of these calamities of this World War III, if you are righteous, is in your favor. I'm going to say it again. If you're a righteous person, if you're about righteousness and you hate evil, this World War III, you got to be loving this, baby. You got to be clapping it up like, yes. Because evil's fighting evil. It is no right against wrong over there. It's wrong against wrong over there. And the quicker wrong against wrong kill each other, the quicker the meek, the righteous can inherit what's ours. The favor, the covering, the grace, the mercy. That ain't with the wicked. That ain't with the bandits. That ain't with the marauders. That ain't with the rapers and the pillagers. No. He says, verse 6, you may set at naught the counsel of the lowly, but the Most High is his refuge. Oh, that the deliverance of Yasharallah might come from Zion, when the Most High restores the fortunes of his people. Jacob will exult, Yasharallah will rejoice. Let's go to this Ezekiel. Let's get to the beef of the matter. Ezekiel 38. We're reading verses 1 through 23 because this is the war that we're at. This is the place in which we are. And it reads, the word of the Most High came unto me, O mortal, turn your face towards Gog of the land of Magog. So China and Russia makes Magog. All you have to do is put in present day Magog in your Google or Bling or Duck Goose thing, and it will show you that the present day landmass of Magog is those two places. Now, the Most High is asking Ezekiel to set a prophecy against them. Now, in this present day, you may be thinking, man, what? Russia seems really good. I mean, you got to realize I got friends that's like, Russia's the only place that never had slavery. Okay. I mean, it has its points, but I mean, like they say, what they got to do with the price of tea in China type of scenario. Like, I appreciate it. And it's for their good, because then that means they may be able to have some favor in the Most High's eye. But the Most High is saying that there was some things done in that land when it was Japhet. Our brother, he went on up there and did some really wild things in following these false gods. He's got into some real demonic, that's where all of the pentagrams and the seances and the spells come from. I want you to be clear, people, that the origins of spell binding and witchcraft comes from the same place of Magog, Russia. The Black Sea, specifically, right over the Black Sea. So, Most High says, I have a prophecy against those people for some things that have been done. You may think of them in whatever way you as a human, but there's a celestial, a cosmic, a biblical timeline that these people have done some things in that they got to pay for. So it says, the chief prince of Meshach, which is right around Germany, and Tubal, right around Bulgaria, prophesied against him and say, thus says the Most High, lo, I am coming to deal with you, O God, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So it's telling you that Gog is their God. Don't you find it interesting that God and Gog just sound so similar? And all of a sudden, these same Europeans, because the word God is a Proto-Indo-European word, meaning that the Caribbean people, the Aboriginal people never had the word God. If you want to really go into the mental aspect of these things, because I don't think a lot of us think about these phonetic spell-binding words that we use that come from this Eastern European bloc that we all say is a spell. We all say the words over and over again, but do you really understand that that's really what's going on? So God is not our creator. God is their God. And they put it in all of our books and all of our literature so we can give praise to theirs. Now, if you're not into scripture and somebody walk up and tell you, say, man, somebody, took the word God, it really was about a devil, and they got everybody saying God and to make it sound like God, you're like, oh man, you tripping, man, you talking too much, man. Man, what you want, them funny mushrooms? You want them funny cigarettes? But if you know history and you know Japhet and you know his children named all the places in Europe, and then you clearly can see that they worship Baphomet, they worship witches, warlocks. You can clearly see that these people have a different pleasure principle. So the Most High is saying that you guys, Gog and this God, are all the same thing, and that they're using phonetics, they're using words for you not to know that you're subdued by these people that you're in captivity under, and that everything that you're doing is giving praise and worship to their entity. You may not think that that's real, but if you know your prayers are real, then you should know that that's real. If you know that somebody hears your prayers, even when nobody else heard it, and your prayers get answered, you should damn well know that this is a real thing. That you calling out God and saying, God this, God that, you are speaking to their entity. That's why I say Shaddai, Ahaya. I don't say the word God. I use the word God if I'm talking to somebody that don't know any of this information that I have to move through the day with. But when I'm praying, I'm not calling on God or Gog. I'm calling on Shaddai. I'm calling on Ahaya. I'm specific because he says there's power in the name. So if the scripture says there's power in the name, and they've given you a Proto-Indo-European word that phonetically sounds the same as their demon god. And it says, O God, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, I will turn you around and put hooks in your jaws and lead you out with all your army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed in splendor, a vast assembly, all of them with bucklers and shield, wielding swords. Among them shall be Persia, Nubia, and Put. All of those is Iran and Iraq. Persia is Iran and Iraq. Nubia, I see Brother Alan is in the building. Nubia's Africa, and Put is North Africa, Libya. Everyone with shield and helmet. Gomar, which is Germany, and all its cohorts, Bet Togarmah, the remotest parts of the north. We're talking Switzerland. We're talking the remotest parts of the north and all its cohorts. The many peoples with you. So now I just told you in the beginning of the lesson how Russia and Iran are click tight going against Israel. It just says that they're going to be all together, Persia, along with God. So, verse 7, be ready, prepare yourselves, you and all the battalions mustered about you, and hold yourselves in reserve for them. After a long time, you shall be summoned. In the distant future, you shall march against the land of the people restored from the sword. The people that were restored, the land. They put people, say, against the land. But in the scripture, they put in the people. Because they want you to believe that those Turks and the Mamelukes and those Khazarians that's in there, calling themselves Israel, is actually the people. But they're not. They have no bloodline connection to the land whatsoever. So they stick in the scripture here. They put, shall march against the land. And then they put parentheses of the people. No. And it says the land that was restored from the sword. That's when the Israeli people went in there in 1948 and had the 7-year fight. And they stole the land. And it says, gathered from the midst of many people, saying that the people that was coming down into that land was a group of a whole bunch of different types of people. Against the mountains of Yasharallah, which have long lain desolate, liberated from the nations, and now all the dwelling secure. You shall advance, coming like a storm. You shall be like a cloud covering the earth, you and all your cohorts, and many people with you. Thus, says the Most High, on that day, a thought will occur to you, and you will conceive a wicked design. You will say, I will invade a land of open towns. I will fall upon a tranquil people living secure. We know they ain't talking about Yasharal in that particular part, because Israel is not peaceful. I will fall upon a tranquil people living secure, all of them living in unwalled towns and lacking bars and gates, in order to take spoil and seize plunder. Well, maybe they were doing that part. They were plundering the rest of the world while they thought they had a Iron Dome that they thought had them secure. So maybe so, right? And they are unwalled. All they had was an Iron Dome, but unwalled, with people that were thinking they were living pretty fat for the last 70 years, taking that land. So, and it says, gates in order to take spoil and seize plunder, to turn your hand against repopulated waste, and against a people, not us, from among nations, acquiring livestock and possession, living at the center of the earth, Sheba and Dedan, Saudi Arabia, and the merchants and all the magnates of Tarshish will say to you, have you come to take spoil? It is to seize and plunder that you assembled your hordes. So again, I just told you that Israel was partnering with Saudi Arabia against Iran. Here, it says that Sheba and Dedan were going to get with them, people that's in the unwalled that had the Iron Dome, and say, you coming to seize people with no defense? I mean, this was written 3,000 years ago, maybe 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 years ago. So if it's written 4,000 years ago, and then you can see it clearly right now. You should know this war is coming, right? You should know this ain't nothing Kamala can do. There ain't nothing Trump can do. I mean, y'all got to be clear on that. If this was written 4,000 years ago, and I can clearly show you each person that's named every nation to this day that's in a battle right now, I can show it to you. I have shown it to you. Laid it out. You can go and look up Gomar and say, what is present day Gomar? You can go and look up what is present day Put. What's present day Togamar? Don't take my word. So this was written 4,000 years ago. And I can see it happening right now. You telling me that Trump is going to negotiate something that's going to change these prophecies? You telling me that Kamala got an economic plan that's going to change things? You think that Trump is going to bring us back to slavery? If Trump gets in, he's in the middle of World War III. Who's going into slavery in World War III? Silly people. I'm going to say it again to all my melanated people out there. Oh, Lord, Trump going to bring back slavery. We going to World War III. Ain't nobody in slavery in World War III. They need everybody to fight. And they can't make a slave fight. Did you know that? You can't make a slave fight in a war. You know why North Korea don't send out no people? Because they defect. As soon as they go to the next country that they sending them to go fight for, they say, I'm going to be a part of this country. Whoever side I'm on, I ain't going back to Korea. You can't make a slave a soldier. We're going to World War III, and they're going to want every hands on deck. Slaves cannot be soldiers. They defect. They run away as soon as they can. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Neither one of these babbling idiots are going to stop what was written 4,000 years ago that we are reading right now that clearly tells you what's happening and how it's going to end. So when it says, Sheba and Dedan and the merchants and all the magnates of Tarshish will say to you, have you come to take spoil? Is it to seize plunder that you assemble your hordes to carry off silver and gold, to make off with livestock and goods, to gather in immense booty? Russia has just announced that they would like to be a negotiator between Israel and Iran. Same thing America says they want to do while they're supplying weapons to Israel. Why can't Russia be a peacemaker while they're supplying weapons to Iran? Well, it's more like this. Me and my brother was talking about it, Ricardo. It's more like the scenario where you got two dudes about to fight. You got one dude that one of them is his partner. The other dude he never really liked. Always was looking for a reason to get into it with him, but never could. That's the person that's coming in and saying, man, y'all break up the fight. He's waiting for the dude he don't like to say something smart to him, to do a punch, to do anything so he can turn around and deck him anyway. It's a setup. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, Brother Yuan. You know what I'm talking about, Adon. It's a setup. So Russ is coming in there and saying, I'm going to be a peacemaker between you and them. But if Israel, if you say something real stupid, like I might have to jump in because now you say something about my mama now. See, that's what's happening right now. I know y'all want to be concerned about Diddy. I know you want to be concerned about the people in Georgia that drowned, and I know you want to be concerned about whatever. I'm telling you that you get some understanding and get righteousness as your understanding. Yeah, backstabber, smile on your face, trying to be your friend, just like the police officers when they put you in a car. Watch your head, buddy. I don't want you to hurt yourself now. You need anything, guy? I hate this for you too. But you about to take me and put me in a jail cell and then subject me and lie on my paperwork and try and get me as much time as I can. But you You really worried about me hitting my head on the car? It says, verse 14, therefore prophesy, O mortal, and say to Gog, thus says the Most High Shaddai, surely on that day when my people, Yasharallah, are living secure, you will take note, and you will come from your home in the farthest north, and say farthest north, you and many people with you, all of them mounted on horses, a vast horde, a mighty army. And you, we talk about Russia and China when we talk about Magog. It says, you will advance upon my people, Israel, Yasharallah, like a cloud covering the earth. This shall happen on that distant day. I will bring you to my land, that the nations may know me. So the Most High says, I'm going to bring you to the land of Yasharallah. I'm telling you that righteousness, Ryan, I don't know how to tell them any clearer. If you don't understand righteousness, Brother Gabar, if you don't know what it is to order your mouth, to order your body, to order your flesh, to order your steps, to understand there's a time for peace and there's a time for war. There's a time to shut your mouth and there's a time to shout. If you don't understand that through righteousness, if you don't have that righteousness filter to know when to do those things, you may not survive this. So it's best that you get in practice of doing this right now. It's best that you get in practice of knowing these 10 commandments, knowing how to deal with people in a humble manner, knowing how to stand on righteousness, knowing how to decipher good and evil when you see it, and following only the good. Know how to separate your flesh from the nasty shit you don't like. I mean, the nasty shit you like. Yeah. Start it. And it says, I will bring you to my land, that the nations may know me when before their eyes I manifest my holiness through you. So the Most High is saying that everybody's going to know his holiness by him bringing down a horde of people to come and fight on an unwalled group of people that have taken over a land that is a group of many nations. We know that the other group of nations ain't no good neither. So we can clearly see this is evil against evil, that the Most High is making evil come and implode upon themselves, to eat themselves, the snake eating its own tail. Verse 17, thus the Most High says, why you are the one I spoke of in ancient days, through my servants, the prophets of Yasharallah, who prophesied for years in those days that I would bring you against them. So you have prophets, man, that was sitting up there screaming, yo, man, these people in Magog is going to come and kill us if we don't change our ways. And it didn't change their ways. They didn't get killed by Magog. Then we got taken into captivity. The other prophecies. Now, after we've gone through all of these prophecies and we're coming to this end time, we are now sitting here where it says it had been preached, had been prophesied. And it says, my servants, the prophets of Yasharallah, who prophesied for years in those days that I will bring you against them. On that day, when God set foot on the soil of Yasharallah, declares the Most High, my raging anger shall flare up, for I have decreed in my indignation and in my blazing wrath. On that day, a terrible earthquake shall befall the land of Yasharallah, the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the beasts of the field, and all creeping things that move on the ground, and every human being on earth shall quake before me. So do you see what the Most High is saying? That I have given this prophecy in end time that there's going to be a major earthquake that's of my hand. The day that Russia and China set foot on a land in Israel. And when that happens, we're all going to know that he has his hands on all of this. I'm like, come on, bring it, baby. I'm just gonna keep on doing my little job, working my little thing. I'm just up there. Like, is it there? Come on now, it's almost there. Come on, Mosai. Let them people do what they gotta do. Make them mad. Come on, flare them up. Let's get the battle going. Battle Royale time. All of the genocide that Israel has done. It says, the Most High has a reason for doing all of this, right? So it says, human being on the earth shall quake before me. Mountains shall be overturned. Cliffs shall topple, and every wall shall crumble to the ground. I will then summon the sword against him throughout my mountains, declares the Most High. Now, I want y'all to know, don't be confused in any form or fashion, that the people over there in Israel really believe that they are the people, even though their capital can be considered the LGBT capital of the world. They have the largest parade. That is not righteousness, and that's not what the Most High has spoken. But these people believe that if they can get Russia to get into the war with Iran, and Iran and them are fighting, that they can get Russia and China to touch down on their ground so that they can bring back the Most High. I'm telling y'all, this is what these people think over there. This is what the Orthodox Israelis believe over there. Because it also brings the Antichrist. See, these people really are playing on a supernatural level. They're playing on a very high spiritual level. Y'all just need to be on the base level of understanding of righteousness, because that's going to save you. You ain't got to know all the highest levels of intellect, of rituals, of seances, of hidden books and all of that. You need Exodus 20. The Most High said, he did not make it grievous to be righteous, to be in its good graces. It is not. It says, declares the Most High, and every man's sword shall be turned against his brother. I will punish him with pestilence and with bloodshed, and I will pour torrential rains, hailstorms, and sulfurous fire, water and ice and fire, which is hailstones is ice, rain is the water, and the sulfur fire, upon him and his hordes and the many peoples with him. Thus will I manifest my greatness and my holiness and make myself known in the sight of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Most High Shaddai. Yeah. We go into Daniel 11. That's our last one for the night. I did not want to make this long. I wanted to make this clear to the point, because we need to. It's at the doorsteps. The drums, the war drums are beating, man. And what's gonna happen as soon as November 5th is, it's gonna be something major that's gonna happen, and it's gonna thrust us into the World War III. Point blank. And ain't none of them ready for it. We going to Daniel chapter 11. We're going to verse 35 to 40. 35 to 40. And it reads, some of the knowledgeable will fall, that they may be refined and purged. I'm going to say it again. Some of the knowledgeable will fall, that they may be refined and purged and whitened until the time of the end. For an interval still remains until the appointed time. So there's still an interval of time before the end time. And in that interval time, right now, what I'm telling you, what I've been saying for the last 6 to 7 years on Hebrew State of Being, that righteousness is the cleansing. We are no longer using animals' blood. We are using your personal sacrifice and what you do every day and how you think. You are circumcising your heart to do righteousness. Because here it says, that's how you're going to be made white. You're going to fall only to be refined. And that's right. And to be purged and whitened until the time of the end. Verse 36. The king will do as he pleases. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god. And he will speak awful things against the Most High. He will prosper until wrath is spent, and what has been decreed is accomplished. So as the Ezekiel 38 speaks of how the war is going to manifest itself, and that at the moment that they step on that soil, he's going to show. And here it's saying that the decree will be that they're going to, they're saying that these people are going to be evil until the decree is done, is accomplished. So these people ain't going to stop, y'all. Is what I'm saying. Israel ain't going to stop bombing. They ain't going to stop provoking. They ain't going to stop trying to get Russia and Iran to make that full commitment to come in and invade them. And that's where they are. As suicidal as that sounds. But they on this. They on their Talmud and what they rabbis been telling them. Or they on something else. Don't try to project your thinking on them. Don't think that you, because you got common sense there. No. That's not what they're working with over there. They're working on this Talmud and what's been lied to them for thousands of years. Verse 37, he will not have regard for the Most High of his ancestors or for the one dear to women or one dear to women. He will not have regard for any God, but will magnify himself above all. He will honor the God of fortresses on his stand. He will honor the gold and silver with the precious stones and costly things, a God that his ancestors never knew. So this Antichrist that comes, this is Daniel speaking of this, as we are reading it with the understanding of Gog and Magog, that the Most High is going to come and show his earthquake and all of these things to these people. To the Antichrist rise for the major battle. It says, he will deal with fortified strongholds with the help of an alien God. He will heap honor on those who acknowledge him, and he will make them master over many. He will distribute land for a price. And verse 40, at that time of the end, the king of the south will lock horns with him, but the king of the north will attack him with chariots and riders and many ships. He will invade lands, sweeping through them like a flood. These are the things that are on par. I'm not here to give you smooth words. I'm not here to tell you that the blood of anything is saving you. Your blood, your mind, your discernment, and your actions is what's going to save you. If your actions are righteous, the righteous creator is going to cover you. If you're out here doing wicked, then you and that wicked guy are going to have to work that out. The war drums are beating. Exodus 20. All praise to the Most High. See you guys on Wednesday.